Various emergency departments trained together to assess how to respond to critical incidents. Our reporter Anna Valdez was there and tells us the details.
First responders from emergency agencies took action in a scenario of an active shooter at a college commencement ceremony. They dispatched their teams and showed how they will neutralize a shooter and rescue victims. The Wichita Police Department says they want to improve post-incident management.
We cannot wait until we've done an entire search of the property. We have to work together with our partners and begin that rescue operation as soon as possible.
As you can see right now behind me, the first responders are assisting one of the victims in this exercise. This is so they are ready to do this in a real life emergency situation. Sedgwick County Emergency Management emphasized that this exercise highlights the importance of communication, which they identified as a key area for improvement.
Be it a large-scale disaster or even a smaller-scale disaster, we need to be able to talk to each other and create that common operating picture so that we're all working together, aligning the resources to where they need to be.
The exercise also had observers present to evaluate and provide feedback to the agencies on their performance in responding to a critical incident. This is the first time an exercise of this magnitude has been conducted, bringing together various first responders from the area to ensure they are prepared to respond in real emergency situations. In Wichita, I'm Anna Valdez, 12 News.